be back here, interviews facing out.
Oh, dope. Okay.
Rest of my days worrying
Tacoma is blank.
The greatest city in the universe. Tacoma is the greatest city in the universe. We have an incredible waterfront. We have a lot of museums. We have distinct neighborhoods, tons of restaurants, great schools, a high graduation rate.
Mario, nice to meet you. I'm Shadi.
What makes Tacoma the greatest city in the universe is the people who choose to call it home. And I think that's what makes Tacoma so special, the people who live here.
See, I don't know if you've ever felt this. And if you haven't, I would wager that you have no idea what wealth is. And if your street names and lanes don't serve as veins pumping culture through the heart of your city, then you have no idea what health is. Consider this a checkup. This ain't your average selfie from the neck up. Picture this. A body of collectivists and community choosing collabs over isolated opportunities, because we know when everybody's eating healthy, then your city gets a step up. When your currents mentor the next up. When your OGs don't withhold but share gold and hold your community's respect up. Choosing support over competition, because ain't nobody tripping over the plug when everybody got their connects up. See, we focus on what connects us. See, that's called the network. That's how your people get their net worth. And when you fall and the neighborhood catch you, that's how you figure out what a net's worth. And when we knew we couldn't fail, that's when we started producing our best work. See, I don't know if you've ever felt this. And if you haven't, I would question what your perception of self is. What your retail sales and relationship with the shelf is like. What your coins and calendar say about your concept of community like. Would you break bread and commune with me like. Do your dollars circle around the same corners that your commute would be like. Do you know the people who put the tags on your clothes, or did you pay double to a designer who would never water where your roots would be? See, if it ain't polyrev, push trees, all bets are etc., then it probably ain't suiting me, baby. All my fits designer. I just rather know the designer. And the same goes for the coffee shop, marketplace, restaurants, or diner. See, my homies don't need no Michelin star, just neighborhood approval. Catch me in the same spot ordering the same thing in the same corner like a usual. See, this kind of support is unusual. This type of soil is immovable. Everything grows here because love gets shown here, because community knows here that dreams unfold here. In those streets of gold here, just people with goals here, and all folks eat here, and all roads lead here, because this is the city of destiny. In the shadow of the dome, in a place that should be synonymous with home, and it's no wonder why my roots produce fruit here. Abundance in the face of a struggle is why a community grew here. Seeing each other as reflection is how we stay true here. We could be anywhere else, but it's a reason why we choose here. See, we move with intention. You don't have to be a mathematician to know that the 2, 5, and the 3 have always equaled the perfect 10. And if you know one of us, you know that there's always a circle behind us. And if you know 10 of us, then you know all of us. And if you have never felt this, this is a community. This is a unit. This is a home. This is 10 of us. This is Tacoma.
out from the destiny. Crown to the left of me, no last leg, we won't lavish the legacy. Close to the ledge, broke bread like the letter G. 7th is the day, rights park heaven's gates with the pearls in my face, cause my word is my faith. Rose through these ranks while I rode you some pain from the clothes that I make. Road that I pave, roles that I played. I'm supposed to give thanks then leave right on the wall, then create the peace. Look, I am not a god, we just relay the speech. Look at all this art my city came to see. I can't believe the faith that they place in me. We blazing trees on Pack Ave and skate the scene. Top of the hill where I remain the king. Top of the hill where I remain the king. Weather all the storms, watch me rain for weeks, yeah. Came a little late, Mayday, I need a break. June came and kissed my baby boy like Aretha Frank. Blue skies finally broke through my centerpiece. Knees weak, flowers in bloom too, I need a piece. The blues hit the high note crazy. My firstborn getting too big. Both babies only know about gray skies. And so I can't wait to show them a July. And it's like that, this town's got teeth, mijo. Beyond peas, mijo. We on seeds, mijo. There's trees growing through streets here, believe me, ho. Flowers peek through the soil from decades, even eons. Beyond type the shore that drink my coffee and hear birds chirp. The city's cosmic, sun worship and drink deep. The burden's a mean beast, you gotta believe dirt. Where anything grows here, it's gotta be good earth.
What's up, E.J. O'Donnell here, co-founder of Dad Gang Co. LLC and Tacoma Run Club. And I'm here to talk about community. Tacoma Run Club was created out of a dark time. We're always trying to be the best versions of ourselves, and sometimes it's hard. And so, you know, myself and my brother-in-law Jared, we decided to go for a run one day because we wanted to have a little support and try to get out of this kind of funk that we were in. And it ended up being one of the best things that ever happened was that we ran, not just to run for ourselves, but we ran together. We had a lot of conversations during that time. And when you're struggling to find the light, you know, sometimes you have to be the light, and that's where community comes in. And that's what Tacoma Run Club kind of ended up being, was a kind of a beacon of light to gathering people that just wanted to work on themselves, work on their fitness, their health, but also meet people. And you know, there's a notion that we all want to change the world, but we can't really change the world until we, you know, work on ourselves first. So I've always had this theory of, before I can help others, I need to be able to pour into myself, therefore I can pour into others. You know, you start with yourself, then you can start in your household, then your neighborhood, and then your community. And then if we're so lucky, we could possibly change the world.
I think as humans, dude, innately, we have this super deep desire to want to connect, to be known and to know one another.
Latte for you?
The need and the importance of connection is obvious. Businesses get started, people fall in love, artists, and dreamers, and authors, they all come and conspire in these spaces, inspired by delicious espresso and beverages that are crafted by your local baristas.
I'll see you guys soon.
You too, bro. Enjoy. Slap them. Boom, like that. And we out.
So I'll never forget the moment Quincy Henry walked in, owner of Campfire Coffee,
He walked into Anthem one day and he beelines it straight to this upright piano that we had in the corner. And he starts playing these jazz chords, stuff I'd never heard before. The most smoothest, like boom, 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 you know, sounded more like a trumpet. But what Quincy was playing was so fresh, and he starts rapping over it. So he's like this piano playing rapper. I'd never seen anything like that in my life. And then after that, I went over and shook hands and got to meet him, and we just shared a moment. Like what an incredible connection. Years later, you fast forward, Quincy and his bride put together this incredible, innovative coffee house experience called Campfire Coffee, literally roasting coffee over open flames. I think it's so rad, and it's something so fresh and new to this area, and perfect for the Pacific Northwest.
Raising babies with the mindset of a single black mama in the 80s. I got no time for lazy prime, for crazy hustle in these muscles. Pride running through the veins, so when I'm sending daps, that energy still remains. And that metadata refrains like when them church choirs sings. Waiting in the water of that sailor's sea holler. I call it mountaintop because we triumphed over the obstacles and thought we had to play, but life was forcing us to audible. Pinned to the ashes, my wins are for the masses. They won't speed like it's meth, but I won't speed like it's molasses. That sweet, deep, rich, black dick make you savor it. What I'm putting in your cup should be your all-time favorite. The leader of the pack then, back when the Pac-12 was Pac-10, I was back then seeking satisfaction. Never knew the blessings would be earned by these campfires. Team kinda like fam, a squad that you can't fire. Patience been a virtue, got a PhD, but the best lessons I learned was from my daddy in a church pew. Allow people to hurt you, ain't nothing stopping you but atmosphere and your fear. Gotta control the first two, go beyond your passions, work your way to loving it, cause that's the only thing that's enduring and everlasting, yeah. Everything here has been real different. And if I'm dapping you, homie, that shit should feel different. If I'm embracing you, homie, that touch should spark something. If we connecting, then really, though, we should start something. Let's connect from Tacoma out to Manchester. While I'm cooking, I'm connecting to my ancestors. Dreaming of the day my hands touched the soil they walked on, so I can bring back all the knowledge that they have talked on. Starry nights at my summer camp, that's the getaway. Fireside vibing, disconnected on these rainy days, yeah.
I just did a major improvement of our background.
Oh yeah, big improvement.
You got one of those, right, Tony?
Yeah, a couple. They're in my legislative office in Olympia.
I feel like when we talked about this before, someone brought up fear. I don't remember who. It could have been me, but I think sometimes fear gets in the way of collaboration, and like one small element is personal insecurity. I think folks can perceive an artist to be so good that they're fearful of wanting to ask to partner with them, or can see your work on Instagram and be so fearful that like your platform is too large for them to be able to partner, or fear of just like competing ideas or competition. And I wish more people could put that fear aside, even just sometimes like the fear of asking, like, can you help me? Right. Can you support me? You have a piece that I literally need to be successful for a project, for an idea. You have a space that I would love, but sometimes just fear gets in the way of us collaborating, doing more together.
I think when we talk about the term collaboration, it's important that we're speaking of it with intentionality and specificity. So collaboration, it sounds like a great idea, and it is, it can be. But then it's like, you know, what are we really collaborating for? For example, so I'm a pilot, and when we talk about aviation, when you're flying an airplane up, we don't call it ascending, we call it climbing. There's a difference between ascending and climbing, right? So to ascend, it's easy, you're just rising up, it's all, you know, very easily and effortless to ascend. But to climb, it means there's a struggle, right? There's gonna be barriers and setbacks, and you're gonna have to climb to get to your destination. And when you collaborate, my hope, my thoughts are when you're collaborating, you're climbing together. You're not using my work or my gifts as a stepping stool to get you higher. No, we're working together, we're ascending together. And to me, that's the kind of collaboration I like to see. Collaboration for elevation.
Right, I love it. Well, I'm a big follower of thought leader Adrienne Marie Brown. You may have heard people say, grow at the speed of trust, right? So at the core of it, collaboration works when trust is developed. There is the concern about extraction, or what we call collaboration, but it really is a power differential. You know, because I worked in the city for years, and it's like, oh, and I think there are certain partnerships and stuff that truly are collaborations and have taken on a life of their own. Spaceworks is an example. You know, it's not about what I do. You know, it exists without me now. You know, but there are some things where it's like, oh, if I didn't have a contract with you, this wouldn't keep happening. Or and there can be contracts too. But it's like, how do we collaborate in the ways that are really resourcing the gifts that we're bringing forward? And I'm not going to hog this whole conversation, but I am going to bring it back to a full circle moment at the beginning party. I'm all about the oracle and the tarot and stuff, and I love this one because it's all about the elements. And 10 of air is what came up, you know, so here you're a pilot. Air is mental energy and stuff. But what this is about murmuration. And you see this picture of the birds, and then, you know, when you see look up in the sky and all the birds are whooshing together and they just know how to do it, that's murmuration, right? So when you think about collaboration, if our hearts are in resonance and we know our role, we just kind of know it because we're true to ourselves. Very different feeling than, hi, I have a great idea, want to do this thing. I mean, I'm the queen of that. Hey, how many times have I done that to you? Like, hey, Tawana, I want to do Pride or whatever. How many times we do it? Hey, let's do these fun things. But the ways where it happens naturally, like this, like, and we're like, all of a sudden, and it happens in Tacoma a lot, where we look around and go, wow, this is cool, look at us, we're doing this cool stuff, you know? And so that's what I want to be really calling in and allowing our hearts to resonate with each other in the ways, you know? And then those who are still, you know, really stepping into the places of power, of challenge, you know, for you all to be able to maintain your peace and to be able to continue to resonate that drum beat, and it's building, you know, like you taking all those amazing folks to Africa. And
I love it. Beautiful. I do want to just reiterate, because I think, like, of course, I wouldn't want anyone to exploit anything that I could bring to the table, but I also am well aware that there are gifts, talents, and quite frankly, points of influence and access to resources that I do have, I have arrived at a point where I personally don't have to say like, well, what is this person? How do I benefit? Or how does this enhance me? Like literally I have things. And in the case of Black Future Co-op Fund, we have access to funds. I could give someone $100,000. I don't need anything in return. Like that's not the point of the philanthropic work that we are doing. And so, and the same thing, like I have a seat in the legislature. Other people don't. So when they're asking me to work on legislation, my response isn't, well, do I have your vote? Are you going to do, like, literally, I have access to things that people in my community do not. And I'm there because I want it to serve them. So there isn't always going to be, and I'm not looking for there to be a fair exchange or a benefit. I do believe what I am putting out in the universe, like making the best and utilizing my access in the best ways as possible, will always provide a return to me. So it doesn't have to be that one-to-one in collaboration, but I want to collaborate with community. If there is something that I have that I can provide, I want to do that. And I want more people to not be fearful of also doing so. It's okay if this time I got you. Next time you might have me, you might not. But right now I got you, you know?
A common goal, what's our common ground?
Well, that's why I feel if Tacoma were a person, like you need to be in a long-term relationship.
Good.
It's not a pit stop. You can do that, but I feel like for the best output, for the best experience, you have to come and learn. You have to come in. If you're not humble, be humbled. You have to come and listen, hear the history, build that respect. But I think you have to be in it for the long haul to have like maximum experience.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
I think we're all a testament to that. You know, if you're good at Tacoma, Tacoma will be good back to you. And you can't say that about every city, right? And just to know, you know, when I started doing my humanitarian work and helping people here in the city, I didn't think of anything in return. Like, you know, it's just the right thing to do. But to get so much in return, it's kind of wild, right? And I think that's what's special about our city.
But Tacoma's also gonna take you to those cities. I mean, literally, we're all community. If Tacoma was a person, absolutely. Fircrest is invited, Lakewood is invited,
Yes.
Puyallup is invited, like.
That's what I think is so beautiful about what is generated here and to export it in return. I mean, that's the reciprocity too. Like both y'all going all the way to Africa, what you did, like, look at you, you know? Wow, and it comes back to here. So you just like your little bus, like just emanating from Tacoma, this beacon of peace. You know,
None of it could have been done without the people here. The people are everything, as you guys know. You focus on the people, anything is possible.
I really admire your courage, well, both of your courage, to stand out in front so readily in each of your own ways. I think that's so important to protect, you know, in all the ways. Just what we've been cultivating on purpose, I can at least speak to the 25 years I've been here, is really, I mean, look, it is about creativity and innovation. And so then, I don't know what it looks like in the math categories, but what is our quotient versus other communities that haven't done what we've done, particularly around global majority, African American communities, just like busting, you know, amazing.
Tacoma's a multiplier. Tacoma's a multiplier of all things good. Absolutely.
And does the rest of the world realize that? But then I'm also like, wait, watch out.
Right.
How do we?
See, that's what this film. That's what this film's about. That's what this film's about. Getting us on the map. Yeah, gotta recognize. Gotta recognize.
But the next step is potential as a space of creativity. You know, that's the powerful space. What do we do with that? And I don't know there's ever an actual arrival, but the continuous arriving into the places where we are able to create the community that we want, that's really capable of nourishing our community and our humans, and that people can thrive and do all kinds of, that the innovation gets to take it to the next level, you know?
Continuous arrival, right? Continuous arrival. And discovering what works, right? What does it work? What is the remedy, the sequence that gets us to arriving again and again and again?
Right.
And elevating people, I feel like, is a part of that piece.
walk through a thief step about as quiet. Cloud cover my head, my feet tired. Top floor duplex above the noise of late night scuffling and bullets to avoid. She was born in a city where the sun was a gift. On a hill with a reputation, I keep listening. I guess that's when I feel like it felt like home. When the city gave me my own, so I swooped through, hustle like I've been broke, my God, too. I barely graduated, high school was a fog. I thought I'd never make a paycheck for 5 to eat from it, but the city made it wait for 3 seeds to be something. So I see the tack on the birth certificates, and I read them back like a hieroglyphic. And if they can say that I'm from the T, I hope they plant seeds while eating the fruit and know the difference, it's home base.
Look, Leroy, I said, I said, one day I'm driving through Fircrest. I'm lying cause the end don't drive through Fircrest. Extra, extra, still root for the Mariners. Don't shoot the sheriff, well sheriff, don't shoot the messenger. This shit got fishy with Marlon Brando. Busy with the blame game, history our example. It's Darnell's barbells, add the apostrophe on. My circle be in shape like the triangles on the T-dome. That MSM melon seed cheese, get your bread right. They told me dream big, they hope I never see Bed-Stuy. How you made the list and you ain't got me included? I hope you get the clues that lead us to Tika Lewis, Lil Oasis, Enum Clawing Tacoma, Golden, Leo Randolph eating the almond roca. Second language happened, Salon still killing, Genghis quit rapping, Samaj still spinning. You probably got 10 things you hate about me, but I got real estate pictures with them fake house keys. My son is the president, my daughter's intelligent. If water is wavy, I'm never out of my element.
What's up, y'all? It's Marcus Trufant here, philanthropist, ex-Seahawks, proudly born and raised in Tacoma. Man, you really don't know until you know, right? Until you take a trip or you step outside the city, going through sports, going through life, always feeling like people never really giving you not a fair shake, but putting you in a space, right? Because you're not from the big city. And you come to me, Mr. Trufant, where are you from? Oh, I'm from Tacoma, Washington. From there, it just started to grow, get stronger and stronger. My love for the city, my appreciation for the city, because I know what goes on in the city. I know how hard we grind, and I know that there's so much talent. There's so much rich culture that's from this city, and people don't know it. It's an untapped gem. It's a diamond in the rough. All those cliche things, man. There's so much good stuff going on, man. There's so much positivity that you had to bring it to them. You had to put it right in front of their face. You had to shock the world, really. And that feeling of people not giving you a chance, and then you kind of showing up and you show and prove, and you make them be like, oh, okay, I get it now. There's no better feeling. This is home base, home team, always repping, baby.
That's the one. That's a wrap on that one, dude.
Who told you not to go to war when you feel the pulling of a tug? If you don't fight for the peace you reap, you might as well reward your adversities with a hug. Dragging you into the shade, interrupting the substance you are nurturing to grow. Only plotting on restraining you from the real growth you have been known to sow. You are not required to bloom with the seasons that are not yours. The rain will pour for others, but you must stay your course and fight your circumstances with force. As defeat dies when perseverance scores in the hopes of you. The shade may feel cooler when you step its way, but your limitless limbs are meant to feel the rain. Followed by the light you match to penetrate the complexity of your richness, despite lingering pain. You must pull harder for your peace in the face of praying inequity. So easy to rest in darkness when knee deep in your own buildup. But you must resist like you know the sun is coming and the rain already cleared up.
Father, yeah. Look, what if I sold myself a zip? I brought it back into my hood and tried to make a profit off of it. What if I hit myself a stain? And on the day that held your funeral, I took your chain and rock ish. What if I brought it back to school and tried to settle off the work and went to work inside the offices? I think I stick with option 2, like, cause I'm a motherfucking criminal and I gotta come up regardless. Hustle hard to get the challenge off the charger. Don't let the fake dictate your fate. You the fucking author. Yeah, I'm a fucking monster, and I've been trapped in a cave with the natural prey and top my only source of water. Oh, I'm your real father. Go and ask your real father. Sinister whispers from the note that I still follow. I need to realign my chakra. I'm swimming in darkness. I'm about to end it. Rip the hinges off my coffin. Move way. Sunshine came in. All my anger disappearing. Reversing my fur features. I am simply a man. Evicted from the land. I don't understand. Needing to keep playing with me. I mixed the Pinot Grigio with my greedy intentions. Engulfed in bitterness. Dipping like Jody Breeze. For yes, I'm in my vehicle. Jealous. I keep a tear on my chest and I'm finna bless them. These niggas is holding cheese. I'm folding them backward and get snatched out your frame. Slang sodium, so low and so low, man. Shorty, get it lower, Frank. Harder than a boulder. You ain't smart, free or holy. You a baptized throat stank. Wipe me down, now you're on, man. Wipe a real nigga down, now you're on, man. No code names, cold vibes. Just read between the lines and thank Jesus you alive. Where Swank said, yeah.
Sound be rocking like a band, I never planned on showing up. This feel like the promised land, Tacoma grams all in my blunts. Perfect summer surfing through these numbers, shades of gray bustin'. Powerful the way I make these plays for all my stray youngest. New dreams when everything was shooting like the hoop teams. Colors wasn't coordinated, they was red and blue teams. Perfect Timmy, had to put some knowledge in my loose leaf. In the city, 2 wings, with a feeling new things. Mind right, couldn't gentrify my city, not quite. Spent all night, my energy for really what you talk like. Them lost cries, I can hear them often back on road and it's a long drive. It's everybody plotting, trying to pull you to the far side. But we don't never knock them, we don't do it for the part-time. It's 40-hour ballin', let them know we got the sauce slime. What you wanna call it, I can tell you where you not slime. Back in them apartments life.
The other day, man, I was watching this documentary with my family and it followed this herd of elephants. And I was fascinated by this herd of elephants because it was this mother elephant and she is walking with this newborn elephant. And it says they have to walk up to 10 miles per day. But when they got to the river, it says they have to cross the river in order, one, to get to the other side, but they have to find fresh grass. But this particular day, the current was strong. There was a storm. And so the herd, half of the herd went, and then the rest of the herd went. And then you have this mother elephant with her newborn, hesitant because she didn't want her cub to get swept in the current. And finally, she worked up the courage and she started to walk across. And of course, the newborn couldn't fight the current. And then the rest of the herd came back and they formed this wall around this newborn elephant. And I was fascinated. And I thought to myself, what if our community can understand this? What if our community can grasp this idea? As an adult, as a man, as a family man, as someone that cares for this community, my goal for our next generation, if I want to see them thrive, if I want to see them dream in the midst of the storm, in the midst of the current, I'm going to grab other leaders and I'm going to form a wall around our youth. Yeah, if I want our youth to dream, I'm going to dream. If I want our youth to love, I'm going to love. If I want our youth to be action, guess what I'm going to do? I'm not going to model it with my words, but I'm going to model it with my actions. So here's my call to every leader, to every caring adult. Be the change you hope to see. Form a wall around our youth. If you want them to dream, dream. If you want them to love, love yourself. If you want them to love your community. And love doesn't take, love gives. Love doesn't take, love gives. You have to be willing to sacrifice. Keep pushing. I love y'all.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's get it.
What's the format? Shaman, where'd you force perform at? Arborcrest Apartments, Michael Jackson on the doormat. Or the living room floor, and it's like 94. I heard gunshots nightly, but we were not at war. We had a Puyallup affair, forget about the whole state. Not much to eat, so when we eat, we scrape the whole plate. Free lunch on the asphalt pavement. Sway side hanging, junior gangbangers oblivious to danger. Surrounding me since I was up in the manger. They even filmed the show Cops Here for entertainment. Packed it up and sold it for television engagement. Syndication, look up, the horizon will display Cascade Mountain Range with kaleidoscope sun rays. Every single day is a Thomas Kincaid picture in the frame, and the two worlds that I describe are really one and the same. A hybrid of habitats mixing up joy and pain. Mistakes were made, but we've vowed to find change. Just as new life grows from all the rain, there's really no limit to what we can all attain.
Hilltop, east side, the sway side, ish. Sway side, hilltop, east side, the sway side, ish. Hilltop, east side, the sway side, ish. East side, east side, east side. Hilltop, east side, the sway side, ish. 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 Hilltop, east side, the sway side, ish.
How my city is reflected in me and how I am reflected in the city really starts with one of the first decisions I got to make as a young adult woman was not in moving to Tacoma, rather it was in making Tacoma my home. Being a Seminole Muskogee woman of Mississippian descent, but born in Ute land in southern Colorado and raised in Dena'ina culture with the Kenaitze tribe in Alaska definitely caused me to reflect on how different the experiences and how much community was shaped often by land. And so I started with what I knew from my native tribal communities and how to familiarize yourself with a sense of place. So I was a young mother. I had 2 children before the age of 20, and I packed them up often, and we walked all over Tacoma, and I made a map of the city of Tacoma in my head. It started with, from where the communities I first started in Tacoma. I was in the Oakland-Madrona district in the central area. I was in Hilltop, moved to the Stadium District, and all of that time seeing Tacoma just on foot really familiarized myself with the city. In addition to really just mapping the land, I really learned from a lot of the plant relatives as well. I'd never lived in a place that had so much abundance. There was all around me were foods to forage, there were new herbs to learn, and being right there on the water, which was home to me. I had a background in service industry work, and so coffee shops were the gathering spaces. Those were our community spaces. And so in the coffee shops is where I heard the stories of Tacoma. I familiarized myself with the artists and the people and the stories that aren't necessarily easily or accessibly told in books. But I lived in an artist warehouse space in downtown Tacoma, in a place that was at that time called Crack Alley. And the way that I knew to build community around me and to kind of cultivate it was to start with food. And so most of us were in the service industry, so it started with just my roommates at the time. And we'd host these potluck dinners. And so that was where I was able to bridge some of my native potlatch culture as well as just coming together for the space of breaking bread. So we'd build these potluck dinners that eventually became kind of a legacy for me. So for 15 years, I cultivated a potluck out of my house every week, every Monday. And each week was a different culinary theme. And each of those weeks, there was only a few rules. You either had to bring a dish, a dessert, a drink, or a talent to share. And that was it. And with that, I watched toddlers and elders and, couples meeting for the first time that would eventually get married. I saw, friends being introduced to strangers. And ultimately, you never had to tell me if you were coming or not. Just the door was open. I never knew who was going to arrive. And for me, that was kind of the biggest gift. But when I reflect on some of that, I also realized that experience in hosting these potluck dinners out of my home, never knowing who was going to show up one week for another, really transformed how I connect to my community. That transformed my experience in bridging different people, different cultures, different community together. And in that transformation, reflection can also be a doorway, a pathway to something more. And for me, that doorway was into Alma. And in Alma, our primary mission is to feed people, to focus first on food as a point of community connection. And so when I reflect on, that journey, for me, that reflection's also that doorway through, that pathway into tapping into communities that aren't your own, tapping into stories and experiences that aren't your own. And that's how we learn, and that's how we find how we want to show up in the world. So.
Like the whole thing, even if you're just doing 16 here, Alex will keep recording.
Sounds about right.
We'll do it a few times, and then basically we'll
we're
have
gonna do it a few times.
The take, yeah.
I'm not,
So
I don't have it memorized.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, man.
Feels consistent. A lot of times, local hip hop oftentimes can feel you're piecing even different.
All right, let's just see what we can do.
Let's go ahead and delete that. Not delete it, but just mute it. I don't even hear it back. We're ready.
It's over there. I just want.
There we go. I like that.
Mark said it best in the interview. He said some kids play catch with their dad. We just rap. We just rap. We play catch. Did that be happy for you?
All right, one more take, man. Let's go.
Let's get it. Let's do it.
Yep.
tall homie. Welcome to the Northwest, buckle up for a rough ride. On the top of your map, and we're very much high. It's like an evolutionary chart when I touch mics, because your boy go ape when he's next to the upright. Usually on the wheel, scratchy with no bug bites. Get around the underground, but not with the thug life. My city is deadly, but very much alive. Jack boys, MCs, cops, so make you touch the sky. Either way, you must oblige. A lot is at stake, and we do it well, so it's tough to bite. Keep it moving, won't let the rain disrupt the vibe. Might hit the emerald queen, give Lady Luck a try. Touch the dice, I see you roll snake eyes. Your boy 12, that's crap parlaying with them fake guys. We'll get you ate the hard way. From the seat to the tack, homie, that's how the cards play.
Well, welcome to Bob's Java Jive. And if I'm gonna put my money into this, I'm gonna say there is no place more quintessentially Tacoma than the Jive. And let me back that up. This was originally constructed in 1927 by a veterinarian. This was his dream, to create a coffee pot breakfast spot. And thus he did. He had this designed and built here as a coffee pot, and it was a roadside attraction. Because in the 1920s, we're seeing this phase of people taking boats to get anywhere to now using cars. And South Tacoma Way became a vital artery to cars getting anywhere they wanted to. But it's gone through some major developments over time. I think the biggest change to this happens in 1969 when I-5 goes right over the top of it. And when you get the interstate, you start to see people just bypassing South Tacoma Way, roadside attractions, and Tacoma as a whole. It becomes not a roadside stop, but something that's easy to neglect and forget. And in that moment, the Jive refuses to die. It's kind of like a hot tub time machine. But if your hot tub was an offbeat tiki drinking room that has pirate-themed karaoke on Friday nights, magical. Because when you're here, it doesn't seem like it should exist. It's like some weird dive bar Brigadoon, where you feel like you drive past it in a fog bank and you're like, only every 50 years could this place possibly exist on the same realm as us. And from then I've been hooked. I think not unlike Brigadoon, once you're in, you can't leave. And that's how Tacoma and the Jive get you. Once you muster up the courage to walk in, you'll never walk back out.
This is Todd the Bod from E9. Cheers.
Cheers. Well, you grew up here, right, Ron?
I did. I grew up in Tacoma. Technically, it was Lakewood, but they weren't a city yet. So I've always had a Tacoma address. And and then because my family was involved with the newspapers out at Joint Base Lewis and McChord, Fort Lewis and McChord back then, I was always around newspapers and all that. And so after I graduated from the UW, I came back and started several publications, Choices, Tacoma City Paper, and then eventually the Weekly Volcano. And it was my job to explore everything. So I grew up here, I knew about things, but Tacoma is constantly changing. And so I became like an encyclopedia for Tacoma. And I thought, well, if I ever retire, I'm going to be the doorman at the Murano, because I know exactly where everything is.
But Tahoma is my Homa as a phrase. I really like that too, because it embodies it. It's home. It's such an inspirational place. I mean, it's a beautiful place, and that's inspirational. But the gritty part is inspirational too, and I think it's exponential, that inspiration, because I'm excited about something, and then I tell you about it, and maybe you share it, and it's just sort of a positive contagion when it comes to inspiration. And I mean, for me, it really was the idea to work on this project, the Tacoma Aroma Cookbook. It really was sort of a lightning strike situation. I was, we'd been here about 15 years at that time. We got here in the early 90s when there was the teeniest, tiniest waft of what was the industrial Tacoma aroma.
Right.
At that time, somebody to want to write a cookbook and call it Tacoma Aroma would never have been a thing.
Yeah.
Now, there's still a few people who are like, what? You want to what? But most people are laughing and like it, even, old timers who've been around for a long time. And the new folks, hopefully, are you laughing, Tacoma Aroma?
Yeah, because I remember the 70s.
Yeah, oh boy. But I do occasionally come across an old timer who's like, why can't we just forget about that? And I'm like, come on, have fun. Let's put a positive spin. It's evolving. This isn't the Tacoma that you grew up in.
It's part of Grit City. That's how we got the name.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the fact that Tacoma, we've got just a full range of folks, and a lot of them are coming from the military.
It's true.
They spend some time here, and then they love it. It's gorgeous, and they want to settle down. And we bring in a lot of really great perspectives and vibe from that.
Yeah, 1,200 people a month go in and out.
Wow, really? Is that
Yep,
much?
it's that
That's
much.
amazing.
So it's constantly, they're out exploring, and then they discover how wonderful this area is, the mountains, the lakes, and what the wonderful things Tacoma has to offer. So when they go up into the next post, a lot of them come back and retire here. So we have a heavy population of veterans because it's one of the most beautiful places in the world, and this city rocks.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. Cheers to that.
In which way is Bob's Java Jive like Tacoma?
Well, just look at what's written on all over the walls. Bands that played here, friends talking back and forth. Back in the day, the Girl Trouble played here all the time with Granny A Go-Go dancing right next to the monkey in the cage. There used to be tons and tons of things on the ceiling, but the fire department demanded it be taken down. So it was even a crazier circus back then. But and the jukebox has always been loaded with local music. So Girl Trouble and all the other bands, and Nico Case used to play her all the time, and her songs were on the jukebox too.
So they're bringing together all these artists and musicians, and
in the 90s, this was a gathering spot. What I love about Tacoma is it's just, to me, it's familiar, it's comforting. I can go anywhere and I know somebody. I know where there's 36 potholes that's on my street. I know where the beautiful angle poster is going to be. It's going to be over at UW. I know where the monkey shine is going to be. It's going to be in a tree in Wright Park. I know walking through the port of Tacoma at night is so peaceful and zen. I know where if I walk down the street and I smell the Hoagie's Corner the cheesy British back in the day, I must be at Doyle's. Because Russ is brilliant and he brought that back. So it's just, it's being familiar. It's like walking around in your house and it's going to creak there, and I know if I go around the corner, I'm going to run into that. It's kind of the same concept for me. I just feel really comfortable here. If I won the lottery, I would never move. I love it.
Still hold them
mirror's edge for reflection. In a city that will suffocate with tension, but still leave you breathless. Rainier, pick the set list. Vibe under the mountain and process my pensions. Restless. Trade the sins of their father I hold from my son and my daughters. I leave none to barter. The steel chapters, the author. We sit in plot points with lifespans to ponder. Yonder, thinking, but still hold tribute. Pour a little out what we grill down the menu. Cookout convention, legacies, the keynote. Where cats level up between charcoal and weed smoke. My big bros talk life over blade steaks. So when I cook in my whole class with the same stakes. Many moves, many times, homie, same place. Teach the kids to look different, but never change
Great
face.
city ain't no blue skies, palm trees. Family tree made a garden out of concrete steel. Cut from the cloth of a king. We ain't stitched from the same jeans. Nah, we ain't bondage still, huh? And that's probably why you seem stressed. Only patching things up when the heat press. Boy, we got the game shown up. You complain, so what? Bet you fold under pressure like Grecian steel. Pops had the vision and he gave it to me. Custom fitted, even hand-me-downs tailored for me. Got a mission, everybody grab a seat. Yo, we dishing out plates, everybody at the table gotta eat. Boy, I do it for the family, I don't do it for a fee. You could get it done right or you could get it done cheap. That's what Granddad said. Granddad left and now his wisdom living on in me. Rent free, rest in peace.
When we do things in Tacoma, we do it with heart. And we do it with the intention to really craft something together. And Tacoma really, truly is a city of destiny because what I believe, like that long time ago when my parents made that decision to come over on a plane and had no idea that they would meet the loves of their lives here, is you make those decisions, we create our own destiny. What we're committing to as a community, we're carving out the destiny for our city to be more inclusive and equitable. It's an honor to be a part of that in what we're doing for our communities. This beautiful space where I'm able to not only find a place for our family to exist and express ourselves, but also to really dig our roots deep down. So I'd love to be from here.
Be filled with peace and happiness. Heaven knows you did your best. Let the sun shine down on your face. Feel the warmth of its embrace. Be a tree that grows its leaves, bloom with hues of evergreen, like the waves reaching towards the shores. Know you'll always be adored.
My real name is Harlem Chun. I go by my middle name, Akara, and I've been producing for like 2 years now, almost. Which doesn't sound like a lot, but I'm good, so it's okay. In the 6th grade, my dad introduced me to the Wu-Tang Clan, and that opened the floodgates basically, because I started listening to Logic, and then it moved on to like Tyler Creator, Action Bronson, like everybody in Griselda. I've listened to like a lot. I think this project that we're putting together is gonna be like the gateway for people to see what's really happening in Tacoma, and for people to realize like what talent is here. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's gonna get big soon, if not like now. So, yeah.
Work ain't never gave me a thing, it's a halo to me. To crown a king, the sweating brow, feet rustling. Steps weighty enough, it's the first of the month. Busy work to the bone, crazy I never gave up. Some days I wanted to walk, I couldn't stand in my shoes. Heavy hands make the lightest load unbearable. Dead weight, witness your fate and meet greatness and stare that shit right in its face and be amazing. Grace got my tongue again, I'll shut my mouth again. I'm too proud of my folks, got me up celebrating again. See, I pointed to the bottle at the top shelf and said, that one please. And we stood in the kitchen and drank the whole damn thing. It's a new tradition. I break bread different. Now that the bread's different, let's see, 25,000 hours, a million minutes, even more if you're paying attention. This shit's not free.
Take it back to 7th grade, back to better days, back to active talk when we was practicing our slang, back to riding buses with blue hoodies and my braids. Had the case was in the black, but we really wanted J's, yeah. It's funny how a lot has changed, but my perseverance stays the same, I have to say I have it made. Being out of 56, the quarter tray is in my veins, yeah. Ain't no other way to say this, My cities ain't the ones to play with. Shut up, we is just not debating. City on my back, we keep it pushing while you haters waiting.
There is no grind like that of a young single mother. It was us against the world, and with a GED and limited work experience, we had to be scrappy. Long hours, 2 jobs, parent-teacher conferences, and shared meals when the bowl was half empty. All were hyphenated by naps and gulps of fresh air with long drives and many non-adventures to places close by to break up the monotony, to form moments of connection. At the time, there was no reward, only survival. Hungry mouths, empty stomachs, but thirsty minds and full hearts, I learned plenty of lessons. One of which was consistency is key, and being someone who could be dependent on was my greatest asset. Not only for the well-being of my children, but for those in my circle. Employers, family, friends. I was rich with work ethic. Time, money, food, hope. Everything else was scarce. I couldn't have imagined where this journey would take me, a full life lush with resources I could share with others, nourishing, filled to the brim, enough to pour into another's cup and celebrate the wealth.
If there was 100 times more art in our city, I think it would spark a sense of gratification, a sense of happiness. It could inspire and encourage the youth, which for me personally is really important. Yeah, I think it would really be inspiring.
Having more art in Tacoma would really impact people's quality of life in a positive way. Seeing art in a community where maybe they haven't had a bunch of art before really brightens people's lives and can encourage and even inspire people to create art of their own.
Top things that people want in the community is plant life, lights, and art. It would make people feel more alive. and at home. When people are represented, for example, in art, it makes them feel like they are accepted into the community as well. It, brings life to a city, brings life to a town. There's a place in Chicago called Pilsen District where they painted all the buildings gray and they took off all the murals because they know the power and value of art and what it does for its community and for its citizens.
When there is 100 times more of something, what happens? I think one of the biggest things that happens is you see it more often. People get more curious about it. There's more talk about it. People get inspired to do the same thing. And so I think that would be one of the biggest and most powerful thing that could happen if there was 100 times more art in the city of Tacoma.
Art is language, and the more we communicate through language, the more that we expand our awareness and our consciousness. And so there's more life when there's more art on display. And that's what the beautiful thing is. And so when there's more life, there's more growth. And when there's more growth, there's more life and expansion, and the cycle completes itself. So I would say that if there's 100x more art on display, visual art on display, you're gonna have more life and more growth and more color and more depth and more beauty.
Having I just picture an abundance of street art and murals being done when you walk down the street, and I think it would just bring a lot more pride. You're like, this is where I'm from, this is where I work from, this is where I create at. They're just walking home from school and they're like, oh, I want to try painting, or I want to try to make that, or it's just inspiring more people to do the same thing.
Here in Tacoma, you gotta collaborate with people. You gotta work with people. Everybody's cool, and I've heard so many people go, they'll come here and they'll go, I'm never leaving here. People come from California, come from all over the place. They're like, oh, I'm just staying here now. I just live here. And I'm like, I feel like I'm lucky I was born here. I gotta experience that from birth. It is beautiful here.
How can art impact Tacoma? That's a good question. I think it's the key to making Tacoma keep the community spirit, keep its authenticity, and tell the true story of Tacoma. Art is the way to do it. Early on, when I started paying attention to art in Tacoma, I saw a lack of diversity, I would think, or at least art that was relatable to me. I didn't see any of the stories that I knew. I didn't see any of the places or people or feelings that I feel reflected in the art of the community. And that's what kind of impacted or influenced me as far as Tacoma's art scene goes. Yeah, I saw a void, I guess. Yeah.
Just the beauty of the city. It's not necessarily traditional beauty, but just this sort of evolution of life and grunginess and the history all coming together. More visual art in Tacoma would be 1000% a good thing. It portrays the personality of the city and the people in the city. Humans have a tendency to be really insular. We surround ourselves with things that make us comfortable. And so being exposed to more different things and new things is always going to be better for us. I'm really drawn to the process of things and not necessarily the outcome, because it's always a moment in time and it's always changing.
Yeah. Trust me and I'll trust you. Words like daggers when trust blew. Trust not what they say, but what they do. Trust nary a face. My people keep me in check. I hope you love me enough. I trust I earn the respect. I do want you to win. I hope you see my intent. I'm fortunate to learn from you. I truly needed this. It's a sky above that we all lay under, and the common ground that we rest our bones, my dear brother. I can understand how you feel, friend. Unfortunately, friendly fire still kills, man. But what if we still win? A family reunion. One hell of a celebration, I embrace y'all in communion. I see you in bright lights in a city where anyone has an opinion, with colorful rhetoric and etc. and etc. And my sentences and my penmanship only say so if I do what I said I would. So put the whole city on champagne in the city hall. Let's
From the heme, so my headspace resembles the 253 geography. Cool, calm, collected up in my climate. I know the city lives deep within me and my mindset. My grandpa was an Elkin radio DJ at St. Pat's, doing communion every Sunday. I channel him when the mic is in my hand. I turn inanimate to animate. Sean the shaman, Tacoma DNA, flowing up in my veins. Inherited my bloodline, I'm here to leave my cleave. Organically grown like fine cannabis. My abilities transmuted like I lay down in the animus, ayy. But my creed a little different. I'm not assassinating people, homie, I'm uplifting them like at the Grand Cinema. My grandma took the tickets as a volunteer, been entertaining all of y'all just for a lot of years. Outreach like fluidity, I do the ministry even if they ain't kin to me. High tide gonna lift all ships, you see. I throw lifelines to any artist that's floating out in my vicinity, and that's the way that it's supposed to be. You don't throw shade at the branch from the same tree. A lot has changed in the game, but I'm the same G. Doing my best with the gifts that God gave me.
One of the things I say about Tacoma is that it's not for everybody, but that's the beauty of this city. It's like you come here, you find your way, you can find a way to make it here. And whether you work in technology, whether you're an artist, whether you work in government, it's a city that has a place for all people. And I tell folks that, I grew up here, I lived in cities around the country, and when I came back to the Northwest, I chose to come home to Tacoma. And so there's something about Tacoma that just draws you in. And one thing I've noticed is that the people who are the most critical of Tacoma are the ones who have been here for a very long time, often those who grew up here. The people who come here from other places, they just have a better appreciation for 60 miles of shoreline, for diverse neighborhoods, for amazing restaurants, for a Tacoma Dome, for the best park system in the United States. It's just a place where everyone can feel welcome. Like every city in America, Tacoma has its challenges, but we come together, we love the city, and we will defend it till the end.
May we find opportunities to support each other.
May we find opportunities to support each other.
And leave seats at the table.
And leave seats at the table.
Let's meet more.
Let's meet more.
Let's read more.
Let's read more.
And let's keep finding each other.
And let's keep finding each other. Cheers to
Because if you know one of